That's your choice.
Yep, I
That's
did
your
it.
call.
I did it.
Do what you want.
Sure. Yeah, why not?
Okay.
Hello,
Are we not
and
waiting for Greg?
no, no, we're not.
I see.
We have no Greg. No
All right.
Greg.
Right.
No Greg.
I'm sorry.
No.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
All right.
That's fine.
Hello and welcome to episode number 927 of the Player One podcast for Tuesday, September 3rd, 2024. I'm your host, Chris Johnston, and with me as always, from the great state of Washington, Mr. Phil Theobald.
Why, that's me.
That is you.
How's it going?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm fine.
Yeah.
I'm fine.
Yeah.
I'm
We
fine.
don't have our Canadian friend here.
We don't.
Just you and me
That's true.
today,
That's true.
but that's all right. That's all right.
I think it's almost better that way.
How do you mean?
Well, because Greg smells.
I see.
I mean,
Yeah.
poorly.
Oh,
Yeah.
all right then.
Because of that incident when he was a child with the bottle rocket going up his right nostril. Results in
Yeah.
him not being able to smell as well as
I see.
those of us with two functioning nostrils.
Yeah.
He was celebrating
Hmm.
Independence Day on July 4th, as all Canadians do.
Don't
And a
think so.
tragic accident occurred.
Yeah. So I was watching the Batman animated series with my daughter.
Oh, that's a good show.
It is a good show.
And
The 92.
age appropriate, which is weird for you to be watching something with your child.
I know.
Yeah.
We watched first of all, streaming services, I don't know what order they're putting things up in. Like it's very strange.
Are you watching this on Max?
Well, it's on Max and it's also on Amazon Prime.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah.
Okay.
And they have two different orders
Oh,
to it. And
Okay.
the one we started watching had the Christmas episode with the Joker as the second episode, and Robin's in it, and I was like, oh, now wait a
Christmas
minute.
with
Like,
the Joker, I believe, is the title of that episode.
yeah, I was like, wait a minute, I don't think they'd introduced Robin yet in the animated series
Right.
for it to be the second episode. I looked online. Apparently, that was the case. I don't know.
Is this one of those situations where they were aired out of order?
It might be, yeah, because it was a syndicated show. They did like 60 episodes or something,
Right.
something like that for this first season. But anyway, in that episode,
Uh-huh.
the Joker sings that "Jingle Bells, Batman smells, Robin laid
Robin
an egg."
laid an egg.
Yeah,
Yes.
and my daughter was like, "Oh, I didn't know they got that from this." This episode of the animated series is like, no, I'm pretty sure that
No,
it's been
no.
around.
Yeah, that predates
Before.
that. But that's pretty funny, though.
Yeah. Because we watched the new Batman, the Caped Crusader cartoon. We finished that.
That's the current one, right?
That's the current one. That is on Amazon Prime.
Oh, okay. That's the one with the penguins, and lady.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
I
So
watched
we watched that.
I watched the first episode of that, and it seemed pretty good.
It is very good. Yeah.
Okay.
It's very good.
Okay.
And they have different mix-ups like that, you know, in terms of artwork or character motivations,
Right.
or things like that. So
Yes. They play with the canon,
they play with the canon quite a bit. We
Which-
watched that first,
which
and then now
angers-
we're watching.
a lot of people.
Did it really?
Well, I mean, whenever you
I'm
do
sure
that
it
sort of thing,
does. Yeah,
you know,
I thought it was really interesting the way they did everything.
I-
like that.
I'm all
I
for
quite
playing
liked
with
it.
canon
Me too.
because you know what? What are you destroying the integrity of Batman?
As if it
This
hadn't
isn't the
already been
historical
destroyed
Batman.
in the late 90s
Come on,
by Joel Schumacher.
but it's good.
It's quite good. Yeah,
Oh,
we
good.
watched it, and then we watched Batman 1989, the live action with Michael Keaton,
The Tim Burton movie.
the Tim Burton movie. My daughter loves Batman 89.
Oh, good.
She loved it, and
Good.
is in fact watching it again right now as we speak.
Now, have you shown her the superior sequel?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Um,
You talking about Batman Forever? What are you talking about? Because I don't like Batman Forever.
you know, there was a movie in between Batman 89 and Batman Forever.
Oh, Batman Returns. I'm sorry. I
The
got
su-
I got
the
this
su-
wrong. I got this wrong. Batman Returns is the one that I don't like. Well, I don't like a lot of them after Batman 89 is what I'm trying to say. Uh-oh. You hit Phil's gone.
I cannot be a party of this episode anymore. Goodbye.
Apparently not. All right.
Batman Returns.
Batman Returns. That's the one I
Is-
meant. That's the one I meant.
Incredible.
No.
It is superior
No.
to the original.
Although my
Which is
opinion of
good.
it may be clouded because when Batman Returns came out,
Uh-huh.
I went to see it with a friend at a theater that was brand new. They opened for the weekend of Batman Returns.
Okay.
And that might have been a mistake because the whole movie was out of focus and quite literally ruined it.
Have you let me ask you this. Have you seen this movie again since that botched theatrical showing?
No.
Oh, really?
No, I hated
Okay.
it so much.
Here's what I need you to do then.
I didn't like the movie in general.
Okay, well that's also incorrect.
but that's correct. I'll have to
So,
watch it again, I guess.
What you need to do, because
well,
your
my daughter will want to watch it. Because,
clearly has good taste, clearly enjoys
yeah.
Batman 89, clearly enjoys Batman TAS.
Yeah. Good
So
things.
you need to do her a favor.
and show her the 1960s
Show her Batman Returns.
live action series.
Do not cloud her judgment by saying this is the one Daddy doesn't like.
I already told her.
Okay, well then you need to suck that poison out of the wound that you yourself created. You need to say, we're going to watch this. Sit back and enjoy it. Because it's great.
I can't say
fantastic.
that though. We'll
It's got
watch
an
it, but
it's an incredible soundtrack.
yeah.
More of that back when Tim Burton made good movies. It's got that Tim Burton good movie vibes.
Yeah.
It's got Michael Keaton, of course, who's wonderful.
Yes.
You got Danny DeVito hamming it up,
yeah.
being disgusting
yeah.
and fascinating to watch. It's got Michelle Pfeiffer being sultry and badass.
Yeah. So I need to rewatch this.
It's got Christopher Walken
I'm aware. I'm aware
being
of the
so
cast list.
Walkensian
Wackensian.
that it's off the scale. It's got Pee Wee Herman in it.
I'll have to watch it. Okay.
It's got
convinced
Simone.
me. You've convinced me, Phil, to give it another chance.
Remember in Pee Wee's Big Adventure, Pee Wee and Simone had that beautiful moment inside the dinosaur?
Yeah.
They are reunited. Pee Wee and Simone are reunited in this movie in a cameo.
So it's a sequel to Pee
It is a canon sequel. Pee Wee and Simone got married, moved to Gotham, gave birth to a young Oswald Cobblepot, and dumped him in the sewer because Pee Wee does not have time for a baby, as he is a loner. Dottie.
Well,
A
we were
rebel.
watching. At first, we wanted to have my daughter watch the original Beetlejuice because we were gonna tee up the sequel,
Of course.
coming out this week, and she didn't want that. So then in the more to watch thing, it had
yes.
Batman 89, and I was like, let's watch this, and she's
There you
like,
go.
yes, more.
You know what?
Batman.
I'll say this.
Yeah.
First of all, I'm glad you brought up Beetlejuice.
Yeah.
Because that provides a beautiful segue
I thought that it might.
into my choice of beverage this episode.
Uh-huh.
I have right here with me, those watching at home will see the neon green liquid
that
I brought forth. This is a limited edition Fanta flavor.
Ooh, Fanta. I'm surprised it's not a Mountain Dew.
Nope, this is Fanta, so it's good for you.
Okay.
According to the label on here, this is an official Beetlejuice movie partner.
The official drink of the movie.
I mean, it's an official movie partner, which I'm going to say, I don't like that.
No?
I don't like that we have gotten so corporate with our movie tie-ins that we're just declaring them as movie partners.
I mean, it's been that way for a long time.
I mean, yes, it's been that way, but to
Demolition Man and Taco Bell. Let's
I mean,
hear
no,
it.
I'm not saying I'm not poo-pooing product placement. It's always been there. But to just declare it on the package as an official movie partner.
Yeah.
That is such like empty corporate synergy BS.
Sure.
I don't like that line being crossed.
Okay.
You know? Just say, "Hey, we got Beetlejuice soda." Woo!
I mean, you don't have to read
movie
that.
Partner.
Movie partner. I mean, the reason you bought this is what?
Do you because it has black and white stripes on the label.
Well, do you normally drink Fanta? Let me ask you that.
Not usually.
No.
I mean, I will occasionally.
But you bought this because they are an official movie partner.
But the fact
Phil,
that it actually
you are the
says
ultimate
words,
corporate stooge.
It says the words "movie partner" on there. That is the line that I don't like being crossed.
This line must not be crossed.
I am aware that it's an advertisement.
But
I don't
proven
like
yourself a corporate stooge now.
Of course I am.
Yeah.
I don't like them telling me that.
Okay.
Okay, that's
you can be a corporate.
Yes, but we have all entered as members of our modern society. We have all entered into a silent, unspoken agreement that we are not going to acknowledge that we are all stooging each other and that we are all, in fact, stooges ourselves.
Not the Three Stooges, just corporate stooge.
No, but how great are the Stooges?
Well,
on iTunes, can buy.
Did I also tell you that I watched the Three Stooges with my daughter? Did I tell this story?
I don't know if you did. How did it go? It either went very well or disastrously.
She has been watching and rewatching Seinfeld.
Yeah.
And there's that episode where
and Seinfeld and the Stooges, it's a natural comedic through line.
Absolutely. Total through line.
Yeah.
But there's that episode where Jerry is going out with his neighbor's girlfriend. The neighbor is in a coma.
Okay.
The girlfriend is like her English is not her first language and she doesn't know much of American culture.
Okay.
And so he says like something's like the Three Stooges and she's like, "Who are these stooges you speak of?"
Yeah.
And he says, "Oh, they're three kind of funny looking guys that hit each other a lot." She's like, You will show me the Stooges?"
Yeah.
He says, "I will show you the Stooges." So my daughter has never seen the Three Stooges anything.
Of course.
Why would you in this day and age?
Right.
So we watched a short of them
being
doctors in a hospital.
Okay. Calling Dr. Howard, Dr. Fine, Dr. Howard.
How do you recall that one?
Because
that's exactly the one we watched.
The friggin' Stooges, man.
That's the one we watched.
If there's
the first episode that Amazon Prime put up for us started with a scene in the Woman Haters Club, and I was like, we're not watching this one. I don't know what kind of thing this is. We're not watching this. But yeah, the doctor one was it was there were still some funny parts.
There's some funny stuff in the Stooges. And I'll tell you what, People stereotype the Stooges as just the slapping and eyeball poking.
Well,
And of
that
course,
is the
there's
best
plenty of
part.
that.
Yeah.
But there's like some funny
There is some
wordplay in there. There's some funny scripts
really
in there.
funny bits. That's
Yeah.
true.
The Stooges are great.
Anyway, corporate stooge Phil
Anyway.
Theobald is going to taste.
I got a bottle of Fanta Haunted Apple, an official Beetlejuice movie partner.
Yeah.
You can see it's got Michael Keaton there in his Beetlejuice makeup on the black and white striped label.
Do you think he gets money for that?
I don't know if he got a fraction of a penny for this particular bottle that I purchased.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know from Hollywood contracts.
I mean, I hope he did, considering that he made Phil Theobald lose faith in corporate America.
I know. Well, you know what made me really lose faith? Faith. This whole podcast has made me lose face. I've spent nearly 20 years losing face every Sunday at 5:30 Pacific time.
Yeah.
What has made me lose faith, though, is this warning on the back. And if you follow my Blue Sky account, you know what I'm going to show you here. But right above the nutrition facts, this Beetlejuice soda
Read it.
contains no juice.
Contains no juice. Yeah.
Disgusting.
Yeah.
What a letdown.
Does any flavor of Fanta contain juice?
I can't imagine it does. But dump, get a little eyedropper and just
put a little bit.
Contains real juice. That's all I want to see. I don't care how much.
That sounds like
I know they can't say it
thing to say
legally without it being at least arguably true. Oh, that smells.
How many notes does it have? What kind of notes?
One. Melted Jolly Rancher.
Melted Jolly
is the
Rancher.
one note.
Oh,
maybe a little hint of cinnamon. Let me give this a go here.
Yeah.
You're gonna turn on the juice, see what shakes loose.
Okay.
I'm gonna down this. You know what? You know what I say before I drink this?
Are you gonna chug it?
No, I'm not gonna chug it.
Well, okay, good.
It's showtime.
Wow.
Let's find out. Oh. That's weird.
Slap you on the backside?
No. You know what it tastes like?
What?
What the hell is going on here? Beetlejuice?
It contains no juice.
Well, it does.
Not even Beetlejuice.
So according to the label, it is spiced apple soda. Remember how I said it had a little hint of cinnamon?
Oh.
It's spiced apple, but I'll tell you, it tastes more like gingerbread.
Oh. Okay.
Which is not a new soda flavor. There have been like gingerbread sodas.
Certainly.
But yeah, it's got more of a...
Yeah.
It's got more of a...
Okay.
I don't know. It's September now. We're getting into that spooky season.
Yeah, we are.
All those Halloween heads are, they're starting Halloween in September now.
All those pumpkin spice
Yeah.
flavorings.
This is giving me more Christmas vibes, though.
Really?
Yeah. A gingerbready flavor?
Well, they could keep it on store shelves all the way through the end of the year.
I mean, we're turning Beetlejuice into like a Nightmare Before Christmas thing.
Scoop Jessica saying gingerbread is too close to a vegetable for Phil.
That's
great.
Yeah. That's true.
I like that.
Oh my goodness. Well,
Yeah.
there you go. Beetlejuice, Fanta, haunted apple flavor.
Lovely.
A little more gingerbready than spiced apple to me, but hey.
Sure. Well, that took up 20 minutes of the show.
Well, Greg's not here, so
Well, oddly, we have kind of a lot of news to talk about.
real quick
You
though.
see the
Real
the
quick.
outline? Yeah,
Real
go ahead.
quick.
Go ahead.
No, of
Go
course I
ahead.
haven't looked at the outline. Why would
Oh,
I
of
do
course. Yeah.
that?
We can go.
I'm going to tell you this: since your kid's all into Batman now,
Yeah.
I don't know her feelings on Superman,
Yeah.
but you should watch that My Adventures with Superman show
Oh, okay.
with her.
And that's on Max, I assume.
That is on Max.
Yeah.
At least at the moment.
For the time.
You never
being.
know when it's going to get zavlaved.
Yeah. Well, that Cape Crusader cartoon was supposed to be on Max, and then they sold it to Amazon instead for whatever
Ridiculous.
reason.
Ridiculous.
Yeah, it is.
But yeah, My Adventures with Superman.
Good.
It's 2 seasons. I believe they have announced they're doing a third. Each season's 10 episodes.
Okay.
Is really good. It's
Okay.
super cute. It's very fun.
Well, maybe we'll give it a shot.
So you should give it a shot.
Okay.
Anyway, what do we got for news?
You know, what else we should give a shot?
I don't know.
They're remastering Croc. Legend
Well.
of Gobos.
Well,
Yeah. What do you think of that?
duly noted.
Duly noted. Yeah.
I mean, I'm glad. All games should be playable
I agree.
at all times,
Yeah.
anywhere.
And it was one of those games that came out, you know, around that time where people were just figuring out 3D platforming and 3D cameras. And I'm sure I played Croc.
Yeah,
I know I did.
really.
I don't remember a darn thing about it, but I'm sure that I played it. But yeah, and the remaster, it doesn't really look that much different.
Oh, really?
Than the PS1 original, just higher res.
Okay.
But I imagine they'll be giving it a bunch of quality of life bumps and whatnot.
Right.
But yeah, I think it'll be interesting. Everything that was old is new again. So Bubsy 3D can't be far behind, right?
I mean, didn't they already say they're doing a Bubsy 3D?
Well, they're doing a Bubsy collection. Does that include 3D?
I think it might.
Oh, okay. Well,
I think it does.
then there you go. Okay,
And I think
Tonic Trouble can't be too far behind.
Tonic Trouble.
I reviewed Tonic Trouble.
If you gave me 1,000 years
Yeah.
to say name all the weird ass 3D platformers,
Yeah.
I don't know if I would have ever recalled Tonic Trouble.
Tonic Trouble, yeah. It in fact had product placement. Speaking of, there was an official popcorn of the game.
The official. There was a popcorn?
Yeah, it was Newman's Own, I think.
Really?
If I recall correctly. It was Newman's Own popcorn, or maybe it wasn't. I don't know.
Was
But it definitely had an official food item.
Tonic Trouble. I'm looking this up.
On the N64.
Yes. From the good folks at Ubisoft.
Ubisoft, yeah.
Or is it Ubi?
I think it is Ubi.
Ubisoft?
Because all their trailers say Ubisoft original, not
well, I guess they would know.
An Ubisoft original.
I guess they would
They
know.
have to know, right? That's their whole deal.
Let's see. Oh, yeah. Ubisoft, I'm reading Wikipedia,
Okay, please.
entered into a partnership with Newman's Own in May 98, which would see Tonic Trouble's Windows release include a package of Newman's Own popcorn in the retail box,
Yeah.
as well as Newman's Own branding on the popcorn dispensers within the game.
Yeah.
So you were right.
Yeah.
Was it Dark Sky that had the Skittles tie-in?
I don't remember that one.
It was a
Sky.
GameCube game, right?
Yeah, maybe.
Dark Sky. Am I remembering that? Oh, Darkened Sky,
Had the Skittles.
which I believe had.
Crucial
Oh yes,
official candy partner.
title character is a young woman named Sky who lives in a fantasy realm searching for her mother. Again, Wikipedia. She can perform magic using Skittles candy,
Like you do, just in
as
general.
well as her staff as a melee weapon. Her staff.
I wonder if it has a warning at at the beginning of the game, like Skittles candy is not actually magic.
I love the Wikipedia page for this. In the development section, just has a picture that is just a close-up image of a bunch of Skittles.
Oh.
And the caption just says, "The game is based on the Skittles brand."
Is the game based on the Skittles brand, or is it just
the entirety of the development section, which is like 2 paragraphs, seems to be talking about exclusively Skittles, and
Skittles had the idea for the game?
Simon and Schuster, the publisher, wanted to develop games based on M&Ms. While negotiating
M&M said no. So
while negotiating with Mars Inc., Simon and Schuster also talked about using Skittles, which would be a backup plan in case M&Ms ended up unavailable. Eventually, Mars gave the license to both brands, with the Skittles one being inspired by the assumption that a computer game based on Skittles could make the brand more popular as the confectionary's consumption declined with people older than 20.
Oh.
Do people stop eating Skittles at age 20?
I certainly didn't.
Nobody told me.
No one told me either. All right, let's move on. Let's move on. We got to move through these news stories here.
Okay.
We can't just skittle around with each and every one.
Doop-de-doop.
All right, we got a new Legend of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom trailer, and it showed the sort of dark world, which is called the Still World in this game.
Yes.
And we got to look at some additional powers that Zelda has at her disposal, including a sword fighter form.
Are any of her powers Skittle based?
No.
Well, this hardly seems like a real video game, then, does it?
Right.
Perhaps Skittles was unavailable.
Right. Maybe they were.
Simon and Schuster is still holding on to that Skittles license with a death grip.
Right. But you go into the Still World, and you still have to use your echoes to traverse the world there. There are going to be dungeons in the Still World and bosses too.
Okay.
So that's cool. And yeah, you can have a sword fighter form.
All right.
You can, which only lasts for a short period of time. It has a little timer on it, and then you have to collect more little energy crystals or whatever. And
those could have just been Skittles.
Charge it up. They should have.
Yeah.
Skittles, this is your opportunity.
Yeah.
Right
it's
here.
It's not too late.
It's not too late.
There's a day 1 patch.
Game doesn't come out till the end of this month.
You got to download the Skittle patch to play.
That's right. Very excited about the new Zelda game.
Yes.
And the Dark World stuff, the Still World, looks awesome. So
I'm looking forward to it.
Me too. All right, so PlayStation 5 Pro, apparently some details have been leaked, and apparently it's going to be announced very shortly here through a blog post.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I have no idea if that's true. And there's a sort of illustration of what it will look like. And shocker, it looks like a PlayStation 5.
Yes,
but it has an extra little fin in the middle of it. So it looks like the redesigned PlayStation 5, the Slim model.
Right.
But it has an extra little gill there in the middle.
You know what it is?
What's that?
It's ribbed for her pleasure.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I guess you could say that. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So we shall see if this gets announced. And the thing is, I don't know about you, Phil. You have a 4K television. I have a 4K television. I am impressed with the visual fidelity on the PS5. I'm wondering how they sell this to us, to regular Joes, like to regular skittle-eating Joes.
Where can a fella
and Fantaswillin,
an everyday Joe like myself,
Fantaswillin,
find a little
eating
action?
Yeah. So Yeah,
Spicy.
what is going to be the unique selling point of this? I'm not sure. Obviously, games will look better. I think they look pretty good already.
Yeah, I don't.
I'm not entirely sure what this means for
I
everything,
hope
but
those little lines they have carved into it. I hope they call those flavor ridges. Because when you're playing,
well, maybe Ruffles potato chips can be the official
there you go.
snack food partner of the
Yep.
PlayStation 5 Pro.
About
And then
time.
I'm sure they can get like a prophylactic partner.
Oh my goodness.
As you were saying before,
Wait,
ribbed.
what? I wasn't saying that.
You did. You
No,
did.
no.
I have the tape.
That was, I think you were misinterpreting my comment.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Well, anyway, the illustration is of the digital version. There's no confirmation on whether there'll be a disc version,
Right.
but presumably it's possible. Like when with the slim model, they did make an external disk drive that you replace one of the faceplates with.
Oh, okay.
Maybe that'll be how this works. I don't know. I have a digital PS5 anyway, so
Yeah.
I'm good. I'm good with that. But
Okay.
yeah, we'll see how they sell this to us. What title are they going to show that will make us want to buy this? I don't know.
Gravity Rush 3.
I don't think they're making that. Don't think they're
But
making
that's
that.
not what you asked.
But I wonder if like how much better is Astrobot going to be on this new PlayStation 5
I can't
model?
imagine.
I can't imagine either. Maybe it'll be 120 frames a second.
I don't know.
Even more ray traced.
Oh, let's hope.
Yeah. And hey, there was a Nintendo Indie World and Partner Direct, a double presentation last week. And a couple things I wanted to mention specifically out of that is we already got a new Castlevania collection, the Castlevania Dominus collection.
Sure did.
Bringing all three of the Nintendo DS games to the Switch.
Yes.
And other platforms got it too.
Yes.
So that's awesome. And it seems like it has a wide range of options in terms of displaying the second screen. I am sure, looking at your what you've been playing, that we will talk about this a little bit later.
So that's some solid foreshadowing.
Exactly.
I like it.
Yeah. And then, of course, Capcom Fighting Collection 2.
Yep.
Kind of interesting. I think the headline that I've seen a lot of people sort of glom onto is the Power Stone 1 and 2 are part of this collection.
Everyone loves Power Stone.
Yeah. Yes, indeed. It also has Capcom versus SNK, Millennium Fight 2000 Pro, Capcom versus SNK 2, Project Justice, Capcom Fighting Evolution, Street Fighter Alpha 3 Upper, and Plasma Sword Nightmare of Bilstein. So.
I'm going to say I'm a little disappointed that it has Project Justice, but it doesn't have the original Rival Schools United by Fate.
Yeah.
Which seems like a weird...
Why would they put that one on, but not Rival Schools?
I don't know.
Well, maybe there'll be a third collection.
It seems like you're going backwards then, which is...
It does seem that way.
Weird.
Yeah. Also, during the presentation, we got the reveal that Digital Eclipse is doing a Tetris collection called Tetris Forever.
Ooh.
This is going to include more than 15 playable Tetris games, including an accurate recreation of the original Tetris game for the Electronica 60.
That was on the old radar oscilloscopes thing, right?
No, I don't think so.
I'm confused.
Then the 1988 Famicom version, Tetris 2 plus Bombliss, Tetris Battle Gaiden, Hatris.
That's the one.
Hatris Super Bombliss, Super Bombliss DX, Super Tetris 2 plus Bombliss, and Super Tetris 3 are the ones that they have talked about.
Yes.
Thus far. And it is part of the Goldmaster series, so it'll have documentary information on there as well. This is absolutely fantastic.
That's going to be great.
I will be buying it immediately.
Oh, absolutely.
without question. So yeah,
Definitely
and
looking forward to it.
they have like a new version of Tetris as well that looks like it can be played locally. That sort of swaps between all the permutations of
Yeah,
Tetris as well. So that
which is
looks really
pretty
cool.
neat.
Yeah, very neat.
The real, we've chatted about this on the Slack.
Yeah.
The real test of how impressive this collection is going to be is if they somehow finagle their way through what can only be an ocean of legal nonsense and get both the Nintendo NES Tetris on there and the Tengen NES Tetris.
Right. Well, they did say that the original NES Tetris that came out in the US is coming to NSO.
Nintendo said this,
Nintendo said this, yeah.
which is, of course, Nintendo's
own version of Tetris.
but it is not the original one that came out in the US.
Right.
Because Tengen Tetris predates it.
Tengen Tetris does predate it, and that would be awesome.
Yeah.
And of course, that's based on the Atari arcade game, and Atari owns Digital Eclipse.
Oh,
is there something that can happen there? Let's hope. Fingers crossed. I had Tengen Tetris growing up.
Oh yeah,
that was my version of Tetris. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
So I did not own the Nintendo published Tetris. So I would like to play it again, please.
Yeah.
So there you go. Also, real quick, just to kind of mention it, in the Japanese Direct, they announced a remake of Tokimeki Memorial for the Switch.
Yeah.
Which this is Konami's chance to bring it to the US. This is it. This is the one. if it's going to happen, now is the time.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is a remake of the PlayStation 1 version of the game. And
it's a dating sim for those who don't know what Tokimeki Memorial is.
It's a dating sim, yes.
It's kind of
the dating sim.
Dating sim.
Yeah, predating all other dating sims.
Yes.
In terms of popularity, certainly. Yeah. And there's a 4-hour Tim Rogers video on this game. If you really want to like dip into why this game is interesting at all, watch the Tim Rogers video. But yeah, it's cool. It's coming out. It's a regular remake with the PS1 graphics, and then they also have like a redone, retooled, redrawn version as well.
Oh, nice!
It's fully voice acted and looks great. So
yes,
maybe it'll come out in the US. I'm not holding my breath, but I hope it does.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's all the news that I put on the outline. So let's get into what we've been playing. And I want to start off with Star Wars Outlaws because we both have been playing.
Now we should save that though.
You want to save Star Wars Outlaws?
We should save that because that's the big new release. It's the one that we both played.
Yes,
I know we both have things to say about it.
We both have feelings.
We should save
it. Okay.
We should save it.
Well, then I'm going to talk about Crypt Custodian here, which
I don't know what that is.
Crypt Custodian is a top-down Metroidvania game from the creator of a game called Islets that is out on all platforms, I think, at this point.
Okay.
Really good developer here, Kyle Thompson, did this game, and I think there's a demo on PS5, but also on Steam. And it is a top-down. Crypt Custodian is a top-down Metroidvania style game where you are a cat that has passed away, and you are being brought to the afterlife. And you can either go to the palace, which is like the idyllic heaven, or you can be sent to another place. And
what other place?
What's that?
What other place?
The crypt.
Oh,
the crypt.
Is it just the crypt?
I think is it called the crypt? I don't know exactly what it's called. But anyway, so this person is going to judge you And
say what it actually is.
when you land in the afterlife and you go, you you are traveling to this person. I forget. I think it's Kendra is her name. She's going to judge you, and you pick up a broom on your way to the judgment.
Okay.
And there's some things blocking your way, so you use the broom to clear them away.
Yeah.
It's like pots and statues and things.
Yeah.
So you get to this all omnipotent being, and she's looking through your file, and she sees that you were a well-loved cat and you lived a good life. And then she gets to the page where it says, when you arrived here, though, you smashed all of these statues that
Oh my goodness.
I loved, and then you get sent to the bad place. Instead.
That's just like your opinion, ma'am. Because I'll tell you what, I love kitty cats. I treat them very kindly. They get endless scritches. Everything's nice and toasty warm so they can curl up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well.
Yeah. Don't make it like, oh, cats don't want to go see the devil. Because the devil loves cats.
I guess so.
Yeah. Yeah, you better guess so.
Well, anyway, you're this cat, and the cat walks on its hind legs, and it has a coat and swings this broom is its weapon. So, yeah, it is a Metroidvania game with different paths, and it's maybe even sort of Zelda-like, because it does have some like dungeon type areas as well.
Okay.
Very cute art style. The combat is good.
What's it called again?
Crypt Custodian. And there's a little bit of platforming involved in that you need to jump on different paths and whatnot.
It's very cute looking.
Could get dicey in terms of like being able to determine where your character is, and there are enemies on some very small platforms sometimes. Yeah. And occasionally you have to move out of the way of an area of effect attack. And the good thing is the platforms, you can't just like roll off of them. There is a boundary at the end of the platform. So yeah, you don't have to worry about falling off, which is nice. But yeah, there's a demo on most platforms. Very cute game, very good music, kind of fun vibes, well written, kind of tongue-in-cheek writing. I like it a lot.
Good.
Yeah,
it looks cute.
It is cute. I've also been playing some more Concord, so I won't talk too much about it. All I want is people to take this away from the conversation. It's a good game that is being horribly
needed,
horribly misunderstood by the masses who have not played it.
Oh boy.
IGN put out an article that apparently it's sold around 25,000 copies across PlayStation and Steam, which is terrible for a first-party game. Like I can't even imagine that, considering it's a first-party game. But I'm enjoying it a whole lot. I've been watching streams of it, and I think it's great. In fact, I have this little device here. It is a Concord styled.
Oh, you bought a branded controller?
I bought the Concord branded controller. This thing's going to be a collector's item. Let me tell you.
Well, not with you getting your greasy Cheeto fingers all over it.
Concord. But that's
out of
okay.
the box.
No. I'm going to use it.
Okay. Well, then it's... And I know you got an Astrobot one coming this week.
I do have an Astrobot.
How many novelty PlayStation 5 controllers do you need?
Just two. Just those two. Just those two. That's it.
Good. You're all set then.
Anyway, Concord is a really good game. It'll be out on... I'm sure they'll do a trial on PS Plus. Yeah. Give it a try. I'm going to link to a video that'll teach you a little bit more about its unique aspects. Anyway, try it. I think you'll like it.
You think I'll like it?
Not you.
No, I wouldn't like it.
Not you specifically.
And that's nothing against Concord, which
Yeah.
I'm sure is a perfectly fine game. It's just not my
It
type
is.
of game.
I understand that.
It's just not my type of game.
I understand that.
You know?
It doesn't. Not every game has to be for everyone.
No, it doesn't. That's the beauty of video games.
It is.
You know,
Yeah.
I only enjoy Skittle themed games. Luckily, there's
As
one
long
game
as
that's
there's
perfect.
a tie-in food item,
Yeah,
I'm good. Yeah.
the Kool-Aid Man game on the 2600. Love it.
You're into it. Yonoid. Gotta order
Yonoid?
some pizza.
Hook me up. Chase the Chuck Wagon for the 2600. It's a bit of a stretch, but
Yeah, sure.
it'll do in a pinch.
All right. Well, that's all I've been playing.
Oh, that's lovely.
Yeah. What about you, Phil? What have you
Well,
been
let's
playing?
start with the big one this week, Star Wars Outlaws.
Oh, yeah.
No, we're saving that for the end.
We're
I
saving
fooled
it.
you.
We're saving it. Yeah.
We're saving it. Mike in the chat says, love that Sour Patch Kids game. I forgot about that. It was like an Xbox Live game, right?
Oh, was it?
Like an Xbox Live Arcade.
Doritos Crash Course, too.
Well, there was the Doritos Crash Course. There were a couple Doritos games.
At least 2, yeah.
There was one with like you're driving around like trying to get away from a T-Rex.
Yeah.
And the Sour Patch Kids game, I remember, and you should appreciate this, CJ. I'm surprised you don't remember this.
Mm-hmm.
It was narrated by Creed from The Office.
Really?
If I am remembering correctly, I believe
I don't think I ever
Creed.
played it. I don't know this game.
it was. Look it up.
I'll
It
look
was.
it up.
I think. Yeah, it was like a. Apparently, it was also on PS3.
Okay.
So.
All right.
And Sneak King, of course, is yes
Well, naturally.
best.
Yeah.
The best.
Yeah.
What World Gone Sour is the name of that Sour Patch Kids game. Thank you, Micah.
Okay.
So what did I play this week? Let me tell you. You talked about earlier that Castlevania game,
Yes. The collection of
Castlevania.
3 titles.
Dominus Collection, which of course contains the 3 Castlevania DS games: Portrait of Ruin, Order of Ecclesia, I think,
Yes.
and Dawn of Sorrow.
Mm-hmm.
And as a bonus, you get the arcade game Haunted Castle, which is not a good game, and a modern day remake of Haunted Castle, like a like
And
they
is
kind
that
of
good?
from the ground up did a redo of it. It's kind of like remember those Rebirth games?
Yeah.
It's kind of like they did that treatment.
Is it good?
The little bit I played, it was pretty decent.
Better than the original?
I mean, it's
Although I hear that's not difficult to do.
the original is not good. The original is not good. But I did pick this up. I of course love my Igavania games, those ones that are more Metroid styled.
Yep.
But specifically, when I got it, I wanted to dive into one of my favorite Castlevania games of all time, which is Dawn of Sorrow. Did you play the DS games?
No,
Oh, they're
I
good.
did not. Yeah.
They're all good. But Dawn of Sorrow,
Especially good?
especially good. It's very, very good. And I picked it up, started playing again, and was reminded of how much I love that game. So it uses the original one uses the touch screen as DS games were wont to do. You got to justify it somehow.
Sure.
And the way they would use it is that you would draw little symbols to cast spells and things like that.
Huh.
And they have you can still do that if you're playing it in handheld mode. You can still use the touch screen. But if you are playing it on the television, you can just do like a sequence of button commands.
Oh, okay.
You know, it turns a little tappa tappa tappa
That's good.
type thing. So, which is good. But what a great game. And
Nice.
as you mentioned earlier, there are multiple options for screen arrangements. because of course the original systems these
DS.
were on was a 2-screen system, one screen above the other. One screen would be showing your action, the other screen would be showing like your map. And if you paused, it would bring up the like character stats screen where you could, change your equipment and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
So this is the most interesting thing I thought. If you do happen to have 2 television sets and you have them hung on your wall, one above the other, you can play like that with one TV showing the action, the other TV showing the map, which is, I think, the ideal way to do it. I had to order a second TV. It's not here yet, but I'm excited about next week to discuss how that works. But I'm really looking forward to that.
Someone
in
tells
the
me this is
meantime-
a patented Phil exaggeration.
What are you talking about? Well, I never.
How would you do that on the Switch? I'm sure you
get
could do
some
that
cables
on
and
PC.
you hook it
On
up.
PC, I'm sure
You get
could
a
do that,
splitter.
actually,
You get a splitter.
that's not how that works.
Splitter cable.
That's not how that works.
Redmond Cable sells splitter cables.
I'm sure you could do that on PC though. You could use 2
Maybe,
monitors.
I don't know.
I have to imagine that's an option. There.
That, of course, was all a lie.
Yes, I figured.
I mean, Dawn of Sorrow is great. That's not a lie. That's true. But the whole thing about the 2 TVs, that was a lie. What is not a lie?
See, you got people ordering multiple televisions, thinking
I gotta
they could do this.
I got a deal with LG and Samsung, and I get
The
a little off
official-
the back end.
The official display of the video game.
Go to lg.com/Phil to order your second TV today. But what you can do, the default view. Now, as I said, of course, this was on a 2-screen system. The default view, though, splits your screen 3 ways.
Oh,
You get someone else in the mix there now because the bulk of your screen is the gameplay. That's eating up a big chunk of your screen.
yeah.
The remaining little sliver off to the side is split in 2 again with the map and your status screen,
Oh,
which is great. You have all your information right there and in sight, in mind, ready to go.
okay.
You can, of course, change them around. Maybe you just want the 2. You can have like 2 equal size screens next to each other. You can change the order and stuff like that. I think there's even an option if you're a lunatic and you can just have 2 tiny screens, one on top of the other,
Okay.
which I guess if you want to do that. But I'm just using the default view and find it very useful. Although I will say, and this is one of those constant fears, and I do not know how realistic this is, but as someone who owns an OLED television, I'm worried about burn-in.
Yeah.
And I'm worried about having a
Yeah.
status screen, a static status screen lit up on my screen for as much time as you're gonna play. So
Definitely.
I've been not making sure that I don't get caught up in this game for hours because I don't want a little, I don't need my stats permanently burned on my screen while I'm trying to watch my stories.
I gotcha. Yeah.
So, but it's great. Love it. Glad it's out. Happy to have it. Those are wonderful games.
Excellent.
You know what else is a wonderful game?
What's that?
Mega Man 2.
Well, that's absolutely true.
I didn't play it this week, but
It's a wonderful game.
it's a great game. There's no denying.
Ah.
I talked about this last week, but thank goodness you're here, which is, again, a delightfully silly romp. I finished it. It's not a difficult game to finish. It's, a couple hours, maybe 3 hours if you're taking your time putzing around, listening to all the dialogue and everything like that. But I finished it.
Okay.
Got a platinum on the PS5.
Nice.
It is a wonderful game. I'll tell you this, it's probably going to be in my top 5 of the year.
Okay.
I had such a good time with it. I'm also going to say this, and I'm not going to spoil it, because I don't want to spoil anything about that game. You should just go into that game as blind as you can be going into it and just sit back and enjoy the silliness. But when you finish the game, there's a cute little thing that happens at the very, very end. And I'm just going to leave it at that. That there's a cute little fun
Thing at the end.
real world interactive thing at the end
Okay.
that
You don't want to miss.
I don't want to miss, and in fact I am not missing it. But it's something to strive for. So
Yeah.
check it out, please. I also just I was looking into, because it's published. It's developed by Coal Supper, which are I believe just like a couple British dudes.
Mm-hmm.
They put out a like 10-minute making of video on YouTube.
Yeah.
That I watched earlier this week, and it was great. But the game is published. You know who publishes this game?
I do.
It's Panic.
Yeah.
The people who made the Playdate,
Yes.
the little handheld crank system.
And they also published the Goose Game.
Yes, Untitled Goose Game.
Yeah.
But
and long time Macintosh developers as well.
Oh, is that right?
Yep.
I was not aware of that.
Yeah.
But I was looking up what Coal Supper has done before this, and they've only done one game prior.
Okay.
And it's apparently a very short, probably calling it a game is overselling it. It's like apparently it's like a little 15-minute interactive experience.
So you bought that too?
Well, I didn't,
No?
because it's free on Steam.
Oh, well, there you go.
You can get it on Steam or on itch.io.
Okay.
Free in both locations. So I did add it to my Steam library. I haven't played it yet. I'm saving it. But
nice.
it looks, it's got a similar visual style to Thank Goodness You're Here, but it looks even weirder.
I'm looking at the visuals now. Yeah.
And
does.
Am I wrong?
Nope.
A lot of flesh tones.
Yep.
A lot of pale fleshy tones. And visible genitalia in this game.
Okay. Yeah.
The Good Time Garden. So please look forward to it. We'll find out.
Yeah.
But yes, I absolutely adore Thank Goodness You're Here.
Cool.
So Star Wars Outlaws came out.
Yeah.
Oh boy. Listen to that.
Sure did.
Oh, real quick before we get into that.
Yeah.
Did you notice my shirt that I'm wearing today, CJ?
I did not.
I'm wearing a shirt. This shirt is bearing the logo of Matsumoto Shave Ice.
Oh.
Which is the shave ice place. It's on there's a one on the North Shore of Oahu.
This is a Yakuza thing?
This is, in fact, in Infinite Wealth, you can go to Matsumoto Shave Ice, even though there's not actually a location in Honolulu.
Oh, okay. There you go.
That game is wonderful, but I would not use it as an accurate map of the city. But I did absolutely pick up the shirt. And CJ, here, let's see if I can.
Here, let's go ahead and
let's see.
make it bigger.
Oh, there we go. There you can see the logo. But even better, look at this.
Oh, wow.
Right?
That's great.
Right?
I love it. Yeah.
That is, for those not watching the video, Ichiban himself is on the back of this shirt, alongside the Matsumoto Shave Ice lady mascot. So I ordered this off their website.
Cool.
Any schmuck can go buy one of these.
Any schmuck.
I mean,
Even like me?
yeah. If you feel you're schmuck enough.
I'm schmuck amuck.
So I was delighted by that. Absolutely. That I discovered this when I was in Honolulu, and I was trying to find out. I was like, how far out of my way would I have to go to visit the shave ice place that Ichiban goes to? And it turns out about an hour, which I was not able to do, sadly, because I was working.
Yeah, of course.
I was working. But that led me to Matsumoto Shave Ice website and their online merch store, and I said, "Oh, goodness gracious me! I gotta buy me a shirt."
Nice.
Anyway, Star Wars Outlaws came out.
Yes.
I'll tell you this: I am a sucker, and I've discussed this before. I am a sucker for a good Star Wars game. I'm a sucker for sometimes a mediocre Star Wars game. I just like Star Wars.
I understand that.
Which I know is a controversial stance to take these days.
Yes.
And, one of the reasons that makes that controversial is that there's a lot of bad Star Wars these days. There's more bad than good Star Wars these days.
Uh-huh.
Much to my chagrin.
Yes.
But I do love a Star Wars game. I enjoyed Jedi
Fallen Order
and Jedi Survivor.
Yep.
I enjoyed both of those games.
You like Star Wars so much you don't even need to know the names of those Star Wars games.
They're just it's those Jedi games.
Yeah.
Fallen Order. So is Fallen Order the first one?
Yes.
Okay. I don't know. It doesn't matter. Who cares?
Wow.
But I was certainly looking forward to Outlaws as well.
Yeah.
And I can tell by your derisive tones that you are not enjoying Outlaws.
Well, I wouldn't say that exactly.
I bet I'm wondering if you are feeling the same way as I am feeling about it.
Uh-huh.
Where I want to love it, it seems to be coming very close to being a game that I'm going to love and get completely sucked into. But there is just enough frustrating little things that are really hampering my enjoyment of the game.
I completely agree with that statement.
Okay.
Yeah. I want to love it because it looks great.
It looks
first of
great.
all. And
Yes.
the main character is great.
Yeah.
The environments are great.
Yep. Looks
Love that.
very
Star
Star
Warsy.
Warsy. It's got that kind of seedy,
Yeah. It's
kind
got
of
it.
grubby, dirty, lived in, used environmental just mess of cantinas and
Yep.
crates stacked up and all that kind of like dirty underworld of Star Wars.
Yeah. It's got that.
Yeah.
It does it well.
Yes, it
on
does.
that. And the font, the
That's
let me
the
just
second thing you're going to?
say, the UI. The
What do you love
UI in
about
general.
this game, CJ? Well, the font mainly.
the UI of this game,
Yeah.
I think, is very well done. It's beautiful.
I mean, I can't argue that.
Except, I mean, it's not very usable in some instances, which make it kind of shitty. But it's visually appealing,
Yes.
even when it's not usable. Yeah.
When is it not usable?
I'll tell you when. So the first environment they kind of drop you in, the first sort of city environment, I should say, I guess.
Yes. Is this after you get your little speeder bike and
This is after you get your speeder, you speed to
whatever the city's called?
whatever the city's called, I don't remember.
Is some stupid Star Wars name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you're walking around and you have a map that you can bring up and you can
Yes.
place waypoints on that map. that are not highlighted in yellow in any color whatsoever other
That's
than
true.
white. And there's a lot of other things on the HUD that are also colored in white.
Yeah.
And it tells you in very Assassin's Creed style, like how far away those things are from you. This environment that you're in has 2 floors to it, and
Yep.
you place a waypoint, and there's no easy way for it to tell you it's upstairs.
This game,
And, like, I can't find the fucking place that I put the damn waypoint.
this game
Like,
desperately
ugh.
needs one of those things that Dead Space has,
I
where
am
you-
right there with you.
where you click the stick in and a little line shoots across the floor telling you
Yeah.
which way to go.
Well, and they even have that fucking button. They have
Yeah.
it's up on the D-pad, and it what it does is you tap it, and it merely brings the item that you're looking at, your current quest
Yes.
or your current objective or whatever, from the top of the screen in the sort of compass view.
Real
It
quick.
brings it down.
We're going to get to that, Bill. Don't worry.
We're gonna get to
Bill.
that. Yes.
A good pal, Bill Mudrun, in the chat saying, just even a mini map in all caps. We're going to get there, Bill. Don't worry.
We're gonna get there. We're gonna get there. Yeah. So the usage of the map overall, like,
Yes.
and we can talk about it in. God. So there's this quest. Once you get
It's
to
so
that
close
place,
to being really good.
it is so close. It is so close to being really good. Here's the thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the markers that you drop on the map don't even have a color. They're white. That's
Right.
it.
Yes.
You can't color them.
No.
So then you look at the map in this city, which is it's fairly condensed. It's very dense.
Yeah.
And you look at any direction on the map, and these icons at the top of the screen are really fucking small.
Yeah.
And you can't tell where you're supposed to go.
Nope.
I found that incredibly frustrating.
Yep.
So then, anyway, there's this mission in that area where you are given a choice between 2 factions that you can go and steal the part that you want from one of the factions or the other.
Yep.
And I had made my the first mission, you kind of ingratiate yourself with the Crimson Dawn. Is that right?
Crimson Dawn. Yes.
Crimson Dawn. So and because this game has multiple factions that you can gain reputation in, and then gain access to different missions and quests and items and things. It gives you like a rating, and it starts you off. You're poor with everybody.
Yes.
And then you do this first mission with where you please the Crimson Dawn, and they give you a good. But now you're going to go steal blaster parts from them, and
Yep.
that's bad. You're being
Well.
an outlaw. So I was like, well, since I'm affiliated with Crimson Dawn, I can probably go into their stronghold and just take the stuff. No, you can't. Turns out, you go into the Crimson Dawn's area, and it's a stealth mission where there's a restricted area, very akin to Assassin's Creed. And God, I had to redo that fucking Crimson Dawn mission, stealth mission, so many times my reputation went down to poor.
Oh.
I was like, what the hell? This is the first stealth mission in the game. Why is this so impossibly hard?
So this game, for those who don't know, and I would imagine a lot of people don't know because they didn't really sell the game on this. Did they? That
I
it's heavy
can't
on
imagine
stealth?
that any of the trailers really showed a whole lot of like stealthing.
It's very heavy on stealth.
It actually is very, very heavy on stealth. And Mudron brings up a very good point here in the chat. I'm just going to read it.
Yeah.
I can't believe they dock you every time you fail, and you fail hard. Yes.
Yes.
They dock you points on the faction every time you fail
Yeah.
a stealth mission, which moved my rating down with the Crimson Dawn to poor.
And I don't dislike stealth games.
No.
I played, a lot of the early I didn't play Metal Gear 5, but I played, Metal Gear Solid 1 through 4. Loved them.
Yeah.
Did well on my sneaking missions there.
Yeah.
So I don't, the fact that it is stealth heavy is not necessarily a bad thing.
No.
But God, I mean that one mission that you're talking about, that first stealth mission that you go to where and they actually have the character explain this, like when you're about to start doing it, it's like, oh,
Yeah.
we can't use weapons here.
Yep. No weapons.
And we can't get caught.
Yep.
And because you start the game, you have your blaster, which has, it has a stun setting. They introduce you to, you can, do a little stun blast to knock people out.
Actually, I don't think I knew that.
You didn't know that?
No.
Oh, yeah. When you
skipped
aim
that tutorial.
when you aim your gun,
Uh-huh.
what is it? L2, I think.
Yeah. Aim down sights.
To aim your sights. R2.
Oh.
Not the lovable droid, but the button does your standard laser shot.
Yeah. Yeah.
But the R1 button does a stun blast.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yes. But you can't use that during certain missions,
Right.
which is like, well,
Yeah.
why not?
Well, then I was telling you,
Yeah.
one of those things you get early on is a pair of binoculars that
Oh, yeah.
very useful. They like help you mark enemies who are, walking around.
Right.
This is also very Assassin's Creed. This functionality is in Assassin's Creed where you can mark enemies to keep track of like where they're moving and things.
Okay.
Very handy thing.
Yeah.
You can't use the binoculars in one of these missions.
On those like heavy duty sneaking missions.
The heavy duty sneaking missions. Ironically, the mission just before this, you could use the binoculars to mark everything. Why did they not let you use
now you
binoculars? Now you can't.
And yeah,
I'm sure there's a power up that eventually you can.
Maybe.
I'm going to be shocked if there's not.
And the reason we are referring to these missions here, like the ones where you can't use your weapons or the binoculars, is kind of like heavy duty ones, where it is because if you get noticed during one of these missions, it's an instant fail. It is instantly
well
fail
early
that
on.
mission.
It's an instant fail.
What's that?
Early on, it's an instant fail.
Yes.
There's a side quest after I failed this mission probably about a dozen times.
Right.
I just started walking around the city, and there's a side mission you can do. If you speak to 6 merchants, you get the ability to talk your way out of confrontations. Now, during a sneaky mission where you're about to get caught, you can talk your way out, and it gives you a few more seconds to run away.
Yes.
So it's not an instant fail.
Yes.
I
did finally get that.
Yeah.
But I just got the the fast talk ability.
Yeah.
I got
the
that
ability
just-
I'm talking about. Yeah.
What's that?
That's the ability I'm talking about.
I actually got that within that mission
Oh, really?
by I think I like knocked out 3 guards while they were distracted,
Okay.
because you have a little animal buddy, Nyx.
Yeah. Yeah,
who is
but
kinda
there's a different buff you can get. I think.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay,
That
this
I'm talking about because I
this one
did
that
the
I got
distracted
is
one. I got that in
the
the
fast
mission.
talk ability,
Okay.
where if you get noticed, you have a couple seconds, not even that, to press R3.
Maybe I had that. Maybe I had that before. Okay.
And you start going like, oh, hey, don't mind me, I'm just looking for the exit, something like that.
Yeah.
But
Which, by the way, is stupid.
well, I get what they're going for, because they're trying to do like a Han Solo-y,
Sure.
hey, look, I'm just a regular Joe here in the Star Wars land. Come
Well,
on.
it's mostly useless, though.
Yeah. Yes, I have noticed that is mostly useless. All that option really does is have my character say something before I lose the mission,
Yes.
instead of just losing.
Basically, yeah.
Hey, I don't know how I got here.
Hey.
Oh, now I'm busted.
Yeah.
And then you get thrown back and you lose like 20 minutes worth of sneaking around
Yeah.
because someone walked up behind you. And guess what? You don't have a mini map or anything. No radar showing you
see
where
it.
things are.
Yeah.
Remember how in Metal Gear, like you have that little mini map and you get to see like cones of vision so you can.
Well,
kinda-
even in Assassin's Creed, there would be coloration around the screen, and there is that in this a little bit. And I'm saying I'm almost certain you can boost this later, because probably this is another Assassin's Creed thing where there's like a little light around the edge of the screen where there is a threat.
Okay.
And yeah, that does happen, but again, it's not enough.
Yeah.
And I will say I'm on to another area of the game because I got past this eventually.
Right.
And stormtroopers, it turns out stormtroopers being black and white against a black background and also a lot of white or light gray can be real hard to notice if you can't use your frickin' binoculars to mark them. Actually, I think in this mission you can use binoculars to mark them, but still, what the hell?
Yeah.
Let me ask you a question, Phil.
Okay.
Did you end up finishing this mission with the Crimson Dawn, or did you swap to Pike?
I finished it with Crimson Dawn.
I tried so much with Crimson Dawn, and I kept failing. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna switch to Pike.
Yeah.
First of all, I couldn't find the door to the Pike area. So the Crimson Dawn, you get through like a little vent.
Yes.
To go in. And I thought I had remembered, but it turns out I wasn't remembering correctly that there was a vent over on the Pike side too. There's no vent.
Oh.
Turns out there's no vent. It's a sort of between two buildings. You got to squeeze between it to get in there.
One of those narrow passages to squeeze through.
Yeah, which already in the time I've played, there's been like 5 of those.
I mean,
but
you didn't play the Jedi Fallen Order and Survivors.
No,
but those games are full of.
I'm sure they are.
Narrow passages.
It's such a trope.
Yeah.
Now. But
I
ran around trying to use the map and placing waypoints on it to see if I could get like an edge wall or something that would have a vent that I could walk through.
Right.
And it didn't happen because there wasn't a vent. It was instead a small area that I could crawl, that I could like sidle through. So I got in there, and as soon as I did that, it was no problem. I like did the thing, no issue.
No.
So I got it from the Pikes instead. I was like, well, I already screwed my reputation with Crimson Dawn. What can I do here? So it was easier. And I was wondering, it's like, okay, did they intentionally make Pike easier? And was Crimson Dawn more difficult? Or was I just like not understanding what I was doing in the Crimson Dawn area, which is possible? I don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But
I failed it a lot. And each time I saw the word caught appear on the screen, my enjoyment of this game went down as well. So not only did my reputation with Crimson Dawn go down, but my enjoyment level went down.
Very disappointing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's I mean, it needs a mini map. It needs like a little wayfinder arrow or beam of light.
On the ground.
Yeah.
On the ground,
it
please.
Needs...
Not just a floating in
air.
No.
Not like a crazy taxi arrow, but like a dead space laser across the floor.
Well, and here's the other thing. And I don't know how you feel about this, but so an open world game like this, and I left that city area and have gone on to do some other things around in the same area. And like you're saying, a waypoint thing, when I see on the compass up above that I am heading towards the yellow icon,
Right.
I'm just beelining it towards that.
Yeah.
I am in general straight lining to that point. But in Star Wars Outlaws, much like a game like Red Dead Redemption 2, where you're riding a horse, you're riding a speeder, and generally you want to be on the road.
Yes.
In part because some of the areas you're being guided to are higher elevation than you currently are, and you need to find a road up there.
Right.
You place a waypoint towards the thing. It does not put a line on the ground to show you this is the way up. You just have to figure it out, and it's so frustrating. It's like, what happened here? Like,
Yeah.
this is not fun. Like, I'm now struggling with game mechanics that I shouldn't be struggling with. Like, I don't want to figure out where the fuck the road is on this hill to get up this mountain and talk to the person who's gonna give me a boost for my speeder. But oh wait, she's got a quest for me to go find a power drive or whatever in this abandoned wind tunnel.
You selected power drive
that is currently running, and a fucking huge place that at the very fucking top of it is this power drive that you pull out, and that's it. Like, I kept playing, and this was reminding me of my review of Star Fox Adventures back in the day.
Oh my.
Where I went into it, I'm like, yes, like, let's do this thing. IP that I'm familiar with, not characters, but a world that I like. Let's do this thing. And then it just, like, gives me the most boring, inane crap to do. And how is this wind area a facility that ever would have worked? Because the only way to the top is to climb by grabbing onto these grates. Like,
Look,
I just
don't start looking for logic like that in Star Wars.
Well, I know as well. Yeah, in video game logic, I can have fun with a video game that makes no sense.
I mean, the Death Star shoots
absolutely
like a dozen lasers that converge at one point and then change direction to shoot at a planet. That's just not how light works. You know,
you're completely right.
Doesn't work that way. You just got to kind of go, sure.
Yeah.
You know.
But let me tell you, the stealth bit really like soured me on the game, and the fact that it's very prevalent, souring me on the experience. And you mentioned something like, give me a cone of vision so that I can see where these people can spot me from. They have vision cones for the cameras.
Yes, they do.
That mechanic is in there.
They do.
They have vision cones for cameras. Why can I not turn on vision cones for patrolling characters?
I'm going to say this too. I have had more than one instance where I was very clearly ducked down behind a barrier.
I've had this happen too.
And I still got spotted.
Yes. Yeah.
And once you get spotted, and for the record, I have this set on the easiest possible this is all on story mode.
Which, by the way, I bumped mine down to story as well. I was like, I don't want to fuck with it.
Once you get spotted,
I'm swearing a lot this episode.
You really are. I can tell you're genuinely upset about this game, given the number of F-bombs you've been dropping. The way this game works is when you get spotted, even on the baby mode.
Yeah.
Once you get spotted, you're done. They don't stop looking for you.
No, they do not. And the other problem.
Yeah.
Have you run into this where the other problem is that if they have the question mark above their heads, they can also alert they can sound an alarm.
Oh, yeah.
And then you're just screwed.
And then enemies will never stop showing up.
Yeah. Well, and then there's one, you have to get through this area without being spotted or compromised. And if somebody across the map, like 200 feet away, sounds an alarm, your game's over.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I have any instances where I see someone, I'm like ducking down, I'm hiding behind a barrier.
Yeah.
I'm sneaking around. I kind of rotate my camera so I can see around ooh, there's a guard. But then all of a sudden a little question mark pops up above the guard's head.
Yeah.
And I'm like, how did they see me? I'm hidden. But then I'm like, okay, I'm going to kind of crawl away and I'm going to maneuver my way through some cracks and crevices. I'm on like the far end of the map. I'm hiding in some tall grass. And they were just, at the beginning of the game, they're like, if you hide in tall grass, they can't see you. But then
They saw you.
all of a sudden, like 5 dudes come out. I see her. She's in the grass. And it's just, what are you doing? And they start shooting the grass.
I had this thing happen.
She thinks she can hide from us. Yeah, I do. I'm on easy mode. I'm on the other side of the map.
Have you landed at the space station where... First of all, have you taken off from the planet?
No, not yet.
All right, well, you're missing this part.
Dear.
Here's a preview. So yeah, there's this area in the space station where you're not supposed to be there, so you sneak out. The entire thing is stealth. You can't run into any characters, pretty much.
Yeah.
Well, I guess you can. You can kill them instead. But anyway, there's this area where you're going through the hangar, the main hangar, where a bunch of TIE fighters are.
Yeah.
And there's an elevated little like platform that has like an area you can duck down from.
Yeah.
And after failing this a couple times, I like stayed up on that platform and it was like, all right, Nyx, who is the animal buddy in this game, can do a bunch of things.
Your little space axolotl.
Yep. There was one like area where there were stormtroopers standing around an explosive barrel because that's what you want to do as stormtroopers. And I was like, okay, I'm in this elevated area. There's no enemies here.
Right.
I'm going to send Nyx to blow this thing up
and
come back to me.
Yes.
He did. He blew the thing up, killed the 2 stormtroopers. Now about 4 or 6 enemies have question marks above their heads.
Right.
I am in this area where they have not spotted me.
Right.
I watch one dude as he walks like basically out of the area through a door and then sets off an alarm that I didn't even know. Well, there's no alarm box there for one. So there are commanders that can set off personal alarms. And then I was caught. But they never saw me.
Right.
Not even once.
No.
And it was over. And I was like, what the hell? Like, what am I supposed to do here? And by the way, in this area, it was one of those where they have the yellow, here's your goal. And yeah, there are a number of directions you could go to potentially get to it, which I guess is why they don't do the Dead Space line to it. But I was like, where the fuck? First of all, like I went the 2 different directions, and then I'm like, where is the door that I'm supposed to get to here? Because I don't know where it is. And like I'm basically like sneaking around trying to avoid stormtroopers, not knowing where I'm supposed to go.
Mm-hmm. I see in our chat, Storytown says in tall grass they'll sit in your lap and not notice you.
Yeah.
I believe that that's what the intention was, but I have had more than one occasion where I've been hiding in the tall grass and they will see me and just start firing into the grass, and suddenly there's like half a dozen dudes running over right on top of me as I'm ducked down in the tall grass.
Yeah, I had that happen once. I did have that happen once. I had whistled and was luring a character over.
Yeah.
I was in the grass.
Right.
And I didn't see that then I had lured another character over.
Wait,
that
that's
was behind
another thing.
Me.
That's another thing, by the way. They set you up early on with like, here's how you take out enemies stealthily. You can sneak up behind them. You can have Nyx run over and distract them and then attack. You can have Nyx attack them and then attack. You can whistle to lure them away.
Yeah.
Which, great. There's a lot of ways for me to take out guards.
Yeah.
But the guards are always in groups of 2.
Yeah, they're always in groups of 2.
It's never just like, oh, there's a lone guard. I'm going to whistle and get him to sneak around the. It's always just like, they're. I mean, kudos to them.
Yeah.
That's the way to do guarding, is to have 2 people at a time.
Yeah.
But, if I send Nyx over to distract the one guy while I sneak up and knock out the other one, the one that Nyx is distracting is going to turn around and go, you believe this animal here? And oh no, my buddy's getting attacked.
Yeah. I've had it too where I've sent Nyx to distract and Nyx stops distracting halfway through.
Of course.
And then I'm like already like out on a limb.
Oh, hey.
Get seen.
You guys get a load of that space axolotl? This is crazy. Don't mind me up here. I'm just as confused as you. What a...
And I am almost assuming that later on, as you power some of these like quote unquote powers up,
right,
it gets easier, because that's how Assassin's Creed works.
It's
where
just
suddenly like you're going to be able to take out multiple guards without a problem. And early on anyway, that doesn't happen. And so it just does not feel great.
No, it's more.
And that's what you want in a Star Wars game. You want a Star Wars game to feel great. You want to feel like you're powerful, at least a little.
Chat has said it's such a weirdly hostile game for something that feels like it should be sandboxy action fluff. I agree. It absolutely, yeah. And it is weird because it looks great. It feels super Star Warsy.
It does.
It's that kind of like seedy underworld section of Star Wars that doesn't get explored nearly enough.
Yeah.
But is very, very interesting. So it's like, I like that you have all these factions. I like that you're kind of like, having to balance how much each of these factions hates you. Yeah. There seems to be a lot there that could be really, really cool, but there's just some confounding game choices that make it not as fun to play as it should be.
And here I was really hoping that it was going to be like the Star Wars game that I hoped it was going to be fun and fast and actiony, and what is with all this stealth stuff and 2 different mini games to crack open safes and things. By the way,
I turned those right off.
I did the same.
You can, I will say this: the game has got accessibility features up the wazoo.
Yeah.
So there's one of the mini games is you have a little lockpick device, and it's like a tiny little like rhythm game.
Yes.
Which I tried it for the first couple times, and I was like, okay, I get this. Yeah. I don't want to have to do it all the time.
The first couple times I tried it, and I didn't get what it was asking me to do, but I did it. I was successful with it anyway. Yeah. And then as I progressed and continued to not understand it, then there was a point where it just like I couldn't do it.
I'm going to be honest with you, because I figured it out. It took like 2 tries for me for it to click, but it is very much like a Space Channel 5e type. Yeah. You hear like the little, because what it is, it looks like whenever you see like R2D2 plug into a computer, and it's like one of those circular ports, and it's got like little like, kind of like whirling outer rim with it's that, but as it's whirling, you hear like a and then there'll be like a doop doop. That's kind of the beats, and then you just have to kind of copy it where you just and you do the same thing, and it unlocks. Once that clicks with you, it actually is a very satisfying little like click, click, boom. Hey, I did it. It feels neat, but I don't want to have to do it every time I'm trying to open a friggin' door or whatever.
Yeah. Well, I was also playing on the PlayStation Portal, and that became untenable.
Oh, yeah,
there was some lag, so
Exactly.
Yeah.
The other mini game is like when you're hacking into computers, and it's just if you've ever played that board game Mastermind.
It's Mastermind.
It's just Mastermind, which I like Mastermind,
Sure.
but I'm playing Star Wars right now. I
I
want to
actually
shoot.
didn't turn that one off. I still do that.
Oh, really? I do. Mastermind is a fun logic game, but you know what?
Don't need it.
I want to shoot lasers. I don't want to.
Yeah. I need
play.
to turn that off too.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I knocked the difficulty down to story because I don't freaking care.
You know what else is? You know what else gets me about this? So, I forget what direction. Like it's one of the D pads or it's pressing one of the joystick buttons.
Yeah.
Nyx, your little animal buddy, can shoot out a little kind of electronic pulse.
I've not done this.
That's the feature. Like if let's say there's a fan that's blocking a tunnel because it's spinning, and I gotta shut down the fan, so I gotta find the power source. And you press a button, and it's apparently Nyx sending out a little electronic pulse, and you can see like the faint outline of the wire.
Yes.
Going to the
I do know what you're talking
the
about.
power box that you have to destroy. And that also lets you like see outlines of enemies through the wall. It's that functionality.
Yeah.
And I don't know if this is something you can adjust in the accessibility features, but those faint outlines are too faint. Like I'll do the little pulse, and then I'm like, I know there's supposed to be some cable I'm following, but I ain't seeing it.
I'm going to say this is also one of those things like Assassin's Creed where you're going to power up that functionality later.
That's stupid.
Yeah.
It
is stupid. I absolutely agree.
Yeah.
I don't want the eating mini game, by the way.
I haven't seen the eating mini game yet. Bill's talking about this.
Bill's talking about that.
Have you seen this yet?
Yes.
Okay, I haven't gotten that far.
Well, no, I did it before even completing that first mission.
Oh, so I just missed it somehow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just like anything in this game, you could easily miss it. So in one of those hubs, there is a food stand and a droid making food, and you can sit down and have a meal with Nyx.
Okay.
And there's a mini game, a quick time event, button pressing mini game that you play as Nyx eats.
Oh.
That then opens up the ability to serve Nyx different food and give him abilities, or I don't know if Nyx is a boy or girl, give Nyx abilities to like swat away grenades or different things.
Oh.
Yeah. Swat away grenades is the one that I have.
I see. It's so weird. I did play some Sabacc.
I didn't do that.
The card game.
I didn't do the card game or the arcade games.
I did play. I played two different arcade games. I played one that was like a on rail shooter, and one that is like a what's presented as like a racing game, but it's really just like a infinite runner like iPhone game.
Okay,
it's like a double run type thing. And then I played Sabacc. I'm assuming. Oh, I also gambled. I also did the in one of like the cantinas. There's a like a horse racing. Well, it's those horses, those space horses from Last Jedi.
Okay.
You can do like off-track betting.
Okay.
So I did some off-track betting, and I played some Sabacc, and I can only assume because they're like the tutorials that you're gonna win. They let you win those. It's programmed that you win those. Because I can't imagine that I would start being like actually good at Sabacc.
Yeah.
But I did play those. But yeah, I somehow missed the eating mini game.
Yeah.
Something to look for next time.
Well, it's also kind of ridiculously long. For what it is, like, yes, you earn the ability to feed Nyx a food that gives it power, but also it's like 2 minutes long.
Oh, really? I mean, Sabacc is actually pretty long. Although you can I believe there are options within the accessibility to like maybe like turn off the because it's you're playing cards against like 3 other people. And so like it goes around and they sit and think about their hand for a couple seconds, and I think you can
speed that up.
Turn off that like kind of the idle animations to just kind of get you back to your hand every time. But
well, to me, this game has just a bunch of open world trappings that just don't feel good. And
I was also disappointed. Speaking of the open worldy type stuff, the first time you get that speeder, which is one of the first things you do in the game, you get your speeder, you go out into the big open desert area. You're supposed to be going to this big city that's kind of carved into a mountain, basically. But I'm just hey, I'm out on the range with my speeder, and there are dudes chasing you. That does your speeder not have weapons?
Yeah, I was confused by that too. I was like, all right, I'm getting shot at. What can I do? Nothing.
And it seems like the only thing to do is excuse me there. When your adrenaline gets high enough.
Yeah.
Because you can't just like pull out your blaster and just start shooting at them.
No.
Because that would make too much sense.
Although, again, I'm assuming later you get some kind of power that allows you to do it.
Oh my God. I see this.
I'm assuming. I don't know for sure, but I assume.
Don't make the game suck at the beginning and then you have to work towards making it playable. Make it playable at the beginning and you work your way towards becoming more powerful.
Yeah. Again, I don't know if any of that's true, but I'm basing it on...
I hope it is.
Having played Assassin's Creed before.
So all you can do when you're on your speeder and there's like 3 or 4 people chasing you, shooting at you, you can't shoot back. You have to wait until you get shot enough or dodge enough or something for your adrenaline meter or whatever they call it to raise up. And then you can press both analog buttons in, and then you go into like
gunslinger mode from Red Dead.
Gunslinger mode.
Dead
You go into whatever it was called in what was that called in Matrix?
Bullet time.
Bullet time. And suddenly, the game goes into super slow-mo, and you have a few seconds to look around, and you can click a button to target individuals. And then once your couple seconds are up, you pull out your gun and pew, 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 and you take them all out. And then
it's very cool looking.
It's cool looking, but you can only do it occasionally. And then like after you pew, pew, pew those people, suddenly like 4 more people come in, and I already used my power. I can't activate it again. I got to wait.
Yeah.
So that's annoying. And then I'm just driving around because I'm having fun. I'm just like, "Ooh, look, I'm in Star Wars. I'm traveling on my speeder bike." And then all of a sudden I just like get the big flash on the screen, return to your mission area. You're leaving the mission area. And it's like, well, don't give me this giant open world deserty area with all these like landmarks all over the place. And then tell me that I can't go there. So I have to turn around.
You're too used to Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom.
I guess.
They couldn't find a good way to just, if they want you just to go to that city,
put me in a canyon.
Take me there.
Put me in a canyon.
Put me in a canyon.
This is not a real planet.
There. No.
This could be the remote canyon world. Because we know how Star Wars works. We know how Star Wars works. Every planet's a single biome. This is the planet that's canyons. And they all have direct paths into whatever big city we're going to next. You don't have to put me on a fake Tatooine. I'm assuming at some point you get a real Tatooine on this anyway, because Jabba's in the game. And good luck having a Star Wars thing that doesn't involve Tatooine at some point.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Here's the funny thing. Well, Micah in the chat says, "Man, this game, you two are really letting the hate flow through you."
I mean, it's probably going to be on my top 5 this year.
What?
That's probably not accurate.
No.
I really want to like this game.
Here's the thing. Yeah, I am in this exact same boat. I wanted to like it. I wanted this to be Star Wars Uncharted.
Yeah.
And, just take me through whatever. Like,
yeah.
But it's full of problems. It's just...
You know what it's full of?
And busy work, too.
You know what it's full
busy
of, CJ?
work.
You know what it's full of?
What?
Bantha poodoo. If I can stay in universe.
One other thing that I did in the open world.
Yeah.
I don't know if you have bothered to do the quest line where you soup up your speeder. Did you do that?
I don't think I've.
So you don't even.
I don't know. I mean, I either I haven't gotten to that yet or I missed it somehow.
So you don't even know. Like this is the mission that made me just eye roll.
Okay.
So much. So anyway, you get some intel that somebody who can add a boost to your speeder lives close by. So I'm like, okay, before leaving the planet, because I'm at the point now where Waka, my trusty Greedo companion, who's fixing my ship, is done with his repairs, and all I have to do is give him the fuel drive or whatever. And
CJ,
I was like, yeah,
CJ,
yeah,
they're called Rhodians.
Okay, fine, Rhodian. You just Googled that. I saw you typing.
No, you know what I was typing? I was typing because I couldn't remember who Waka was.
That's good.
And once I saw, I was like, oh yeah, that's Waka.
Yeah.
But I can assure you, CJ, if you are friends with anyone who knows what Greedo's species is without having to look it up,
it's you.
It's me.
You're right.
It's me.
You're right. But anyway, so I went on this thing.
Jesus
it's like,
Christ,
I can find a way to get a boost function for my speeder. I'm going to do that.
You know what species Admiral Akbar is, CJ?
I don't give a shit.
He's a Mon Calamari. Okay?
Listen to my story, Phil.
War with the Quarren. You might call them squid faces.
Listen to my tale of woe. So anyway,
don't start doubting my Star Wars knowledge. How dare you?
There's
Go
a
ahead.
quest line for a boost function for your speeder, which is like, okay, I want that.
Yeah.
So anyway, it tells you to go to this fishing village. So I go there, and on my way there, I run across, I don't know how many freaking enemies, but I was right next to the village, and suddenly like a million red question marks show up. And I'm like, what just happened? Like, I have no idea. I'm going to this fishing village.
Yeah.
And suddenly there's like a million exclamation points in red around me. So I end up running away for a little bit and coming back at a different angle.
Yeah.
And go to this fishing village, and there's nothing there. It's empty. I'm walking through. I'm like, what the hell? Like, there's ain't nothing here.
Uh-oh.
And there's a data pad there, and I'm pressing the button to check data pad, and it ain't doing shit. So I'm like, what happened here? Like,
CJ.
Oh, yeah.
A communication disruption can mean only one thing.
Invasion. So anyway, I drive further out.
Don't start pretending like I don't know Star Wars, you ass. How dare you?
I drive further away from this fishing village, which, by the way, I don't think is near any water. Maybe it is. Anyway, I didn't see any water.
You should see how big their reels are.
Anyway,
you got this rod is like 5 miles long, and we launch it.
Anyway, so I drive way the hell away, because if one thing I have learned in Sea of Thieves is if you go to an island and things are broken, you sail away and come back.
Okay.
Things sometimes magically fix themselves. So I was like, I'll do that here.
Yeah.
And guess what? There were
Chicken
people.
butt?
There were people in the fishing village after I came back the second
Oh, seriously?
time.
You
I
just
was
had to-
like, what? I just had to reset it.
You just had to turn it off and on again.
Yeah, basically.
Oh no.
And then they told me where to meet this person, and it was
Maybe
up-
when you first showed up in the village, everyone got scared and hid.
Nope. I don't think so.
And then when you left, they were like, "Oh, okay,
Well, here's the thing about that. So,
okay."
God, Crimson Dawn. Let's talk about this mission again.
Okay.
Sorry, everybody. The talk of Star Wars Outlaws.
You think you got a bad CJ? I'm having to talk about this. All I have to drink is this damn gingerbread
Yeah.
apple soda.
Well, anyway, the first time I went in there, so I was
Yeah.
like, well, I'm friendly with Crimson Dawn. I can walk right through the front door. Maybe this will be the easy route or whatever.
Yeah.
And yeah, there were fewer. Is there? I don't know. When I went through the front door, I saw all the enemies, and then I went the back way, and at least 3 of the enemies weren't there when I went that way.
Okay.
I was like, oh, okay. So I guess since I'm sneaking in, there's gonna be fewer enemies.
Right.
Well, I died a couple more times and they showed back up. What a confusing, confounding game.
This is.
And like you, I want to like it,
I really want to like it.
but I
I
don't
want to.
because, well, a major part of it is stealth, and stealth in this game blows.
It's not good.
And if they hide upgrades to the gameplay for later because you level crap up, that's also stupid.
Yeah.
Make it playable.
Ugh.
Yeah. Why are you doing this? I like how you call the speeder like it's a horse. You whistle and
Yeah,
it
I did notice that. I did notice that.
but it doesn't even like
when I
drive
walked
to
out
you.
of the
It just
city-
kind of like bounces into existence.
Yeah. When I walked out of the city after doing some stuff, I'm like, okay. Because yeah, they're like, okay, you gotta go talk to someone.
Yeah.
So what was it? I got a mission from like the Hutt cartel, I think.
Yeah.
And it was like, okay, you gotta meet this person. They're way on the other side of the map. You gotta go tootling through the desert to get to where this person is. Okay, I gotta get my speeder. And I walk out, and the game's map is useless. So I'm just like, well, where? I know I left it on like on a landing pad, which
Yep.
I knew when I got there. There was a big landing pad, like a big circular,
Yep.
where a spaceship would dock.
Yep.
And because I'm an asshole, I parked my speeder right in the middle of it.
That's fantastic.
It's like you go into the grocery store parking lot and there's like someone who's parked parallel to the parking spaces, so they're eating up like 3 spaces.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna right in the middle of this giant landing pad. I'm gonna put my bike right in the center of it, so you can't use the entire landing pad. But I did that because, well, now I'll remember where it is. I'll be able to find it easier. But
Yeah.
I couldn't find where the pad was. And I was like, well, crap, where's my speeder bike?
Yeah.
But then a little message popped up on the screen that said, yeah, press this button. And it's the same button you use to whistle to distract the guards.
I know. I only knew that it called the speeder because I pressed it to whistle.
Yeah.
And I guess I didn't press it long enough. And it's like, you can't call your speeder here. I was like, that wasn't what I was trying to do.
And as someone, I've played plenty of Musu games. And you end up calling your horse a lot.
Yeah.
And you do that in Zelda too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Makes sense. I guess you got a sensor on your speeder bike where it responds to
Yeah.
whistles.
It responds to whistles, but you can't set it to take me to this point on the map and just let it auto drive you.
Look, how much do you want it to do?
Which, by the way, you can do in a lot of open world games.
You know what? You know what they could have done? You know how they could have hand waved that nonsense away? Just make it like, oh, this bike is half droid. You know, put a little robot head on it.
Put a robot head on it.
Stick a little,
yeah.
excuse me, stick a little robot head on it. It doesn't even have to be cute. Doesn't even have to have a personality. It could just be like, ready to ride. Let's go. Give me a whistle whenever you need me.
I have one other thing. Well, it sounds like we're bashing this game, and I guess we are. But so when going to the fishing village and I was being harassed by these dudes on speeders, I got off my bike and ended up killing one of the enemies on a speeder. You know, you can't drive the speeders, the enemy speeders.
Oh, no.
I was like, why can't I drive the enemy speeder? What?
That would
why
be disrespectful.
I guess. But yeah, here's the thing. The game is one of those, I was anticipating it quite a bit. Loved the look of every trailer they've shown.
Yeah.
Very disappointed that so early on they introduced this stealth mechanic that I think is terrible.
Yeah.
And borderline unplayable, and kind of, it just sucks the fun right out of the game.
I did see Bill Mudron says everyone who has got 20 hours in the game says it becomes playable later. So it sounds like
they're doing the
theory,
Assassin's Creed thing.
Your hypothesis is correct.
This is how Ubisoft open world games work.
Well, I don't much care for it. I wish it didn't work that way. I wish it worked in a way where it was fun to play from the beginning and not fun to play after suffering for 20 hours.
Yeah, I mean, what is the point of having a progression system that makes the game playable later?
Yeah.
And not giving you a good experience up front. Like,
start it off being fun and then make it more fun later by introducing new powers or more interesting challenges.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't make it not fun at the beginning, because that's not fun.
You said it, Phil.
Not fun is not fun. Any way you look at it. I want to like this game.
Me too.
Ugh. I should just go play some more Dawn of Sorrows. You know, at first,
it made me want to play more Concord, and I did just that. In fact, they dropped me in a section that it's like, okay, here's more stealth, and I was like, F this.
That's it. I was very hesitant to start this game originally because I was so certain was I that I would love it.
Yeah.
And that I would become obsessed with playing with it.
Yeah.
That I would end up spending so much time into it where when Astrobot comes around,
you were like, this is going to be my Star Wars Like a Dragon. I am just going to like...
Yeah, this is my next
K-Vest is your
hours.
Ichiban.
But Astrobot,
Kasuga.
As we know, I am so anticipating Astrobot that it preempties all.
Yes.
It unlocks Thursday night at 9 p.m. specific time.
Yeah.
I took Friday off work.
Oh, man.
To play it. I took Monday and Tuesday off work. I am taking a 5-day weekend next week, this upcoming week, solely for Astrobot.
Yeah.
This is the first time I have ever forsaken work or school to play a video game.
Yeah. And it's good because you don't have to worry about servers being down because it's not an online game.
Exactly.
That's great.
But I was like, I knew that I was going to throw myself 100% into Astrobot. So I was hesitant to start Star Wars because I was like, I can't imagine I would finish it.
Yeah.
Before Astrobot came out, and I was worried that like, oh, if I put it down to play Astrobot, I may not pick it up again and finish it. And I want to because surely this game is going to be great. I'm excited for it.
Yeah.
But I decided to start playing it anyway because we have a 3-day weekend this week.
Yeah.
Plenty of time for me to get some hours clocked into it.
Yeah.
But now I'm like, ugh, do I want to?
I'm very curious to see what you think of that booster mission where you have to retrieve the thing.
Yeah.
And then once you leave the planet, the first space station you dock with and what happens on there. Like very, very curious to see.
We'll find out. I'm not giving up on the
these.
game.
I'm not either.
I'm going to keep playing it. I just won't be as dedicated to it as I was kind of expecting me to be. And Bill, by the way, I see you in the chat, and I see you throwing out that blasphemy about Astrobot turning into like a brutal legend situation. If that happens, my friend, I'm going to be very grumpy with you for willing it into existence.
Yeah.
I was enjoying Brutal Legend quite a bit up until it turned into like a crap RTS. Remember that?
I do remember.
Remember how they sold us this game as like this cool, fun rock and roll adventure? And they made no mention at all of it being
that's not garbage. Happen with Astrobot. That happened with Star Wars Outlaws.
Yeah. Here's going to be a fun hop and bop, run around, have fun shooting lasers and running away from stormtroopers. Oh, now you got to sneak around in the worst stealth game you've played in years.
Yeah.
Ugh. I don't think Greg is playing this game.
No.
Ask Micah in the chat.
He's not. No.
Although maybe after hearing this, he will be sold on it.
He said he was going to pick it up after he gets back from his current trip.
Nobody tell him what we said. He's not going to listen to this.
He might listen to it. He might actually.
Really?
If it was you, you wouldn't listen to it.
No, I certainly
Greg
wouldn't listen to it. Will Greg listen to it?
Yeah, he will.
If he does, nobody say a word. Tell him we all thought it was great. Tell him we had nothing but praise for it.
Yeah.
I really want to like it.
Me too, but it's bad. I don't want to say it's bad, but it just, man, like...
It's disappointing.
It's disappointing.
Much like Fanta haunted apple soda.
Yeah.
I don't want to drink any more of this. I'm thirsty. I should have had water here as well.
I have water here.
You're lucky.
I'm gonna drink some. But I think our episode's over.
Are we done?
I think we're gonna stop here.
Goodness
I don't want to.
Speaking of Star Wars,
let's put this out of its misery.
Look what I got on my desk right next to me here. I got this book, the Once Upon a Galaxy, a journal of the making of The Empire Strikes Back.
That's awesome.
My good buddy Bill, who's listening right now, he convinced me to buy this book. He has spent years raving about this book. Published in 1980. This is a first edition.
Ooh.
September 1980. Bill's very excited in our chat. I've read a bit of this book, and it is an outstanding. If you have any interest at all about the making of the best Star Wars movie, still,
sure. Yeah.
This is incredible. It is written by a journalist, Alan Arnold, who basically just hung out on the set as they were filming it and just took notes. And, you can see it's just like Monday, April 9th, and he's just talking about what he saw on the set. Tuesday, April 10th, Carrie Fisher isn't well. It looks as if she'll have to rest for a few days. And just, goes into like little details like that.
So it's just like ain't a cool news story.
This is the mood on the set. This is Here's one of the actors got into an argument with the producer today. It's really neat.
Okay.
So if you can find it's not in print anymore. This one I got off eBay. So you might have to pay a couple bucks for it, but it's good.
Okay.
I'm just saying there's some good Star Wars stuff.
Okay.
If you know where to look.
Alrighty, and that is our show for this week. Thank you very much for listening. If you have a question for us or would like to comment on something you heard, maybe you like Star Wars Outlaws. Well,
tell us why we're wrong.
We're on the road to not liking it, but yeah, tell us why we're wrong.
I want to like it.
Me too.
We want to like it. Tell us what we are missing.
I'm sure it's a couple power-ups. A couple upgrades to our abilities that we're missing.
When do you get a lightsaber? I want to shoot some lightsabers.
At P1 Podcast on various social media platforms. We also have a website, player1podcast.com, where you can find blog entries about Sega CD stuff from Mr. Greg Seward, Generation 16 episodes. You can find our contact information, and you'll find show notes and links to all the things that we talked about during this episode. And there's also a link to our Discord server where we can discuss this episode with us and our other listeners.
If you would like to subscribe to the Player One Podcast, you can do so by visiting player1podcast.com or by loading up your favorite podcast listening app. We're also on Spotify. You can like us on Facebook. You can watch video archives of our show on the youtubes.com/P1 podcast, or you can watch us live most weeks on the YouTubes, the Facebooks,
yep.
I think, the Twitch.televisions. Just follow our one of our many social media accounts to find out when we are doing our next live show. Typically it is Sunday evenings at 5:30 Pacific time.
Yeah.
So join us, won't you? And I'll tell you what, if you like what you've heard, and how could you, head over to patreon.com/P1 podcast, throw a few shekels our way. We can use that money to buy CJ some Blu-rays of Andor. Have you watched Andor yet?
Yes, I have watched Andor.
Oh, CJ's seen Andor. That's good.
It's very, very good.
That's good Star Wars.
That is good Star Wars.
Okay, so we don't have to buy CJ the Blu-rays.
No.
I purchased Andor on Blu-ray. I'll have you know.
It's very good.
It's very good.
Great series. Yeah.
It's suspiciously good. It's
yeah.
I'm worried about Andor season 2, if it will maintain the quality, because given the state of Star Wars television shows, it feels like we got away with something.
Yeah.
And I'm worried that we're going to be able to get away with it twice.
Yeah.
We'll find out. Your Patreon funds, of course, go towards maintaining our show, keeping us streaming and all that, hosting fees and what have you, all that nonsense. Although it did buy us these copies of Outlaws, right?
It did.
We did.
Right.
We did use Patreon funds to purchase ourselves these copies of Star Wars Outlaws. So, thank you, I suppose. You see, CJ, because we're not enjoying the game that much.
That's true.
So I'm being a little snotty about.
Yeah.
We're gonna keep trying. Hopefully we like it. We'll see.
We are.
Anyway, thank you for your Patreon support. And I'll tell you what, your Patreon support doesn't just buy us games that we wish we liked more than we do. Yeah. You get something in return, and what that is, friendos, is a special weekly bonus episode. We record it right after this, where we play games, crack wise, we have fun doing all the stuff we can't do on the regular show. Now, CJ, we last week began playing a lyrical music-based game.
Yeah.
A Jeopardy style game from who sent that in?
Zach Miller.
Zach Miller, yes. And it was very long, and we got through half of it. And I believe we're saving the next half for when Greg
Yes.
is back. So do we have a game for this week? Just you and me?
Phil, you have to complete some quests with Crimson Dawn first.
Oh, I can do that.
If you
anything,
you have to have an excellent rep with Crimson
anything
Dawn.
to please Han Solo's former lover, Kira, who is a high-ranked member of the Crimson Dawn, as depicted in the hit film Solo Star Wars, a Star Wars Han Solo story.
Okay.
Did you see that movie, CJ?
I did not see that movie.
It's not
No.
very good.
That's why I didn't see it.
Yeah.
We do have a game, yes.
Oh, we do.
We do.
We do. What is it? Or is it a
I
surprise?
Don't know.
He doesn't know, folks. We'll find out together.
We're gonna do this. Yep. It's a Jeopardy game. We'll try it together.
I'm sure we will do great. That is, of course, available for those Patreon friends at the $5 tier.
Yeah. Cheap.
Oh, there it is. I'm used to Greg saying it, so I'm a little discombobulated. I'll tell you what.
Yeah.
If you have a couple bucks left over, head over to patreon.com/Greg Seward, the aforementioned Greg Seward, to help support Greg's outstanding, and it is outstanding, web series about North America's favorite runner-up, the Sega Genesis.
Thank you, Phil.
Thanks, Phil. If you're a member of the $5 tier.
Also cheap.
Oh, hey there, Satan's. Good to hear from you.
Good to hear from you, Greg.
Oh, how have you been?
Just fine.
Oh, yeah, I've been doing pretty good myself. Just sitting around, sticking my thumb up my nose, trying to pick a winner.
You're gross, Greg. That's gross.
I hope everybody enjoys my Patreon and listens to my daily commute.
I hope that as well.
Thank you. Flawless.
Yep.
Flawless. No, go give Greg
like
some
Greg was
money
here for a
for his what's that?
It's like Greg was here with us.
For his wonderful shows. I genuinely enjoy Greg's output on the YouTubes.
Yes.
Is that it then?
That's it.
CJ,
Yeah.
thank you so much.
Thank you, Phil.
Absolutely. Gregory, wherever you may be. I hope you're doing well.
Yes.
And of course, thank you. Not you, CJ. I already thanked you.
True.
You don't get to enjoy these thanks.
Okay.
These thanks are just for you, our wonderful listeners, every single darned one of you. As always, take care of yourself, your loved one, your family, your friends. Be kind to each other. Be kind to yourself, most of all. My gosh. And, I guess we'll see you next week.
Bye-bye.
Goodbye.